together?
Well,
Right. Can't keep these answers short.
yes, yeah, no. It was basically out of necessity to create a more, for my own personal thing anyway, to create a more free-flowing, compact music project as opposed to the rigors of a standard band format with weekly rehearsals and tunes that are basically worked out from beginning to end.
How were Ross and Brian able to fit in with this free-flowing idea?
Well, in the beginning, I mean, it was quite an adjustment for me because I'd always been involved in very much more structured bands, rock bands and pop bands, and so I was actually fairly against the idea of what sounded like, to me, a sort of jam project. So I wasn't very keen on the idea to begin with, but it turned out to be quite a lot of fun and quite free. So I think it just takes a certain connection with the people that you're working with for something like an improvising band to actually work. It could really fall flat.
I'd seen Urban Creep, which is the band that Ross was playing in, and
Didn't like it.
didn't like it at all. And I mean, I'm like very, very opposed to rock music, and he was in a rock band. So, but then I was pleasantly surprised by his like inability to play the drums.
Do you really play drums? You just mess around with skins?
I play drums.
Do you play jazz, or what is it that Benguela does?
Benguela doesn't know what Benguela plays.
Yeah, we try and keep it as cliche-free as possible. We don't try and... yeah, I think it's just really a...
It's just an expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the three of us, those are the personalities, and we create music as it happens. And we're all liable to do certain things with our own instruments, and we've gotten to know those parts of each other's,
I think an important thing about Benguela is our approach to the instruments. We don't necessarily like to approach the instruments in the way that it's normally approached.
Both of us are still waiting for Ross to actually start playing drums. It's been 5
I
years.
mean, I've given up on Ross completely. He's just like a member of the band who sits and bangs things. So.
How exactly do these three clashing personalities get their drums?
As much space between us as possible.
How much of a Benguela gig is a war, and how much is a dialogue?
It's never really a war.
Never really a war. It's more kind of... it's definitely how we're feeling does play a big role in what the gig is like, and also the audience and the space that we're playing in. And other times we like to antagonize the audience and try and put them through as much as possible. And
Our egos are not present at all when we play.
Definitely.
So there's like one kind of ego coming through, which is Benguela.
Now, from the answers that you've given, if I hadn't heard the music, I would probably be wondering why the hell I should go and listen to this unrehearsed, improvised bunch of people.
Well, it's not unrehearsed.
It's not totally unrehearsed.
Yeah, you must be aware that the three of us are dealing with music all the time, and we're constantly learning. So it's not unrehearsed as such. It's triggers that are developed between us, and that's how some of those things consolidate into like pieces. They're not that tight pieces, but they are those kind of like free-flowing motives, if you like. We know how to work with each other. We know, like, I don't know.
we don't know why you should come and see us.
Don't come and see us if you don't want an audience.
It's very obvious to us when something is not really clicking, or there's nothing particularly special about that moment, and we will always try and take it into another moment then. The spontaneity always counts for a lot in a live performance. So, yeah, that's a reason.
you've managed to capture rather well, I think, on the two albums, the sense of your live gigs, which I think is probably quite difficult to do, given how much they vary and how much they move. How did you get that right?
Recording live. Wow.
And then we tried to link them as well, and try and make them, run from a piece to a piece, as we would do it live as well. So there is a sense of that developing from one idea into the next, and that was purely through editing. We like to use other pieces of music, like the Breitenbach, the one that's yet to be released. There was 2 really nice pieces that we managed to use to his poetry. Yeah, we had his voice already, the way he'd read it, which was very monotone, so it was quite difficult to work with, but it did the ones
Rhythmically, very nice.
Rhythmically more quite interesting. So it actually quite amazing how well it did fit to the pieces that we chose. It was more sort of pure luck, really, that it went to the beat of the songs.
Was it daunting working with such a luminary, or engaging in such a project?
No, not really. Well, the material is also very open to things like remixing as well. That's something we want to explore as well.
Yeah.
Try and put together an album of remixed material from these archives of tunes.
You've got an album called Sputnik, another album called Digital Inability, and you've got songs with names like Jesus Takes the Cake and X-Nick and Pink Wolf Noise.
The titles have meaning for us, because
it's an association.
Yeah, it's an association from that period, and what we were thinking, what we were doing.
So how on earth do you communicate on stage in front of an audience what you'd like to play next? So give it a name, be it X or Sputnik or Bread, for all that matters.
Yes, it was his idea. Sputnik was
the
dog.
dog.
I know Sputnik was the dog.
So I'm looking for meaning here.
You're looking for meaning.
Most of your pieces, and you can't really call them songs, seem like meditations or explorations of something. Is there something more than just the exploration of the instrument and playing with one another?
Well, before a gig we always get together, light black candles and sacrifice a virgin.
Right.
Often South African artists, especially those who are white, who don't play easily identifiable African jazz, struggle to have a marketable identity for an international audience. Where does Benguela fit in?
Good question.
I don't think market was ever our intention.
Yeah.
We've never thought of the music as necessarily being marketable. And then getting feedback from people from overseas, not having heard that music, saying, like, guys are doing this over there, and it's like rocking. And I mean, that's really amazing, because it's just something that we do.
Yeah.
Is Benguela a band, or is it more of a semi-permanent side project?
I don't think we're really a band. I think we're a collection of 3 people who like playing together. Sounds like a band, doesn't it?
Alex would love it to be a band.
Alex really wants it to be a band. He wants us to be a boy band.
That's brilliant.
What do you think the future of Benguela is, and what would you like it to be?
Sure. Sorry.
The way that I've always approached the project is to let it fall as it may.
We're actually very enthusiastic about Benguela all of a sudden. I started off being very pessimistic about Benguela and not wanting it to really develop beyond just being a band playing every now and again.
I'm very interested in the effect sound has on people.
I don't see the project ending, really. That's the beauty of it. Because there's no pressure, there's no ego pressures, there's no one's pushing the band in a certain direction. So it's not directionless, but it has the potential to go anywhere.
It would be fantastic to link up with people internationally who are doing similar things, who are interested in this kind of music. So I really have great hopes for Benguela.
Anything else you want to add?
New.
Good.